What's up, everybody? Back here for episode 71 of the Pitside podcast. We've got a great episode for you this week. We're going to get a little bit international on you. We're going to have Jamie McCarron live from Australia. We're going to talk to him a little bit. And then we're going to catch up with Jesse Atkinson, who's one of the newer guys in our league as well. So we've got a great episode for you. We'll get started here in just a minute.
Welcome to the Pitside Podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the Coast to Coast Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Here's your host, the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman, Craig.
Yep, so we're back. It's this is a fun episode. I think I truthfully, I had, until we got him on before we started the interview, I had forgotten Jamie was from Australia. So when he jumped in and started talking, I couldn't see him yet. I was working on some other stuff, and he started talking. His Australian accent is so Australian. I wasn't sure if he was joking at first, and then
really?
then I remembered. Yeah, it was really funny.
No, he's a good dude, man. I've talked to him a few times before, and I knew he would be a great interview. So, you know what? We should get right into those. And we also got the Jesse Atkinson on. He's hot in the Rebels division right now, and he's relatively new to the league.
Yeah.
Few seasons, but two good interviews. So, and then we got the Podium Picks, so we'll cover those off when we come back after the interviews.
Yep. So we're gonna start with Jamie. We'll talk to him for a little bit, and then we'll talk to Jesse. It's the J episode, and then don't leave us after that. We got a great another set of Podium Picks after the interviews. So we'll close the show with that. So let's start off and go talk to Jamie right now.
Bring it on. So this is interesting. This is our very first totally international interview. So, Preston is in Virginia. I'm up in Canada. And our guest, Jamie McCarron, down in Australia.
G'day, fellas. Yeah, g'day.
Good day, buddy.
What's going on?
So how's it going?
Good, mate. Yeah, just I'm back at work now, so that's why I haven't sort of been on as much. But I try and get on as much as I can. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just talking about a few things here, the weather and everything else. What did you say? It's like 90 out?
It's about, for the next 4 days, it's around 90. And I think we're 2 months into our fall, as you call it. We call it autumn over here. But, it's great weather at the moment.
Yeah, and you're heading into winter.
Yeah.
So how cold does it get there? Where you are? Where are you?
I'm in Mildura. I'm on the Victoria-New South Wales border. We've got a river that sort of crosses, through the two states. Sort of eastern Australia, but down the bottom a little bit, type of thing.
Yeah, that's not the gold. There was a guy in the league, and I don't think it was you. It was in the gold mine area, in the gold. Yeah, area.
That's Ballarat way, which is I think it's about probably 300 miles south of us. So yeah. Yeah, she's a big cool country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly, man. It's kind of like Canada. It's a bit of a drive to get from one end to the other.
It certainly is. It's a long way between drinks, as you call it.
So it's 10 o'clock here and at night, and you said about noon hour where you are.
Yeah,
right
it's
now?
about midday here, or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah.
Which means most of your racing with us, well, all of your racing with us is in the mornings.
Yeah, no, it works out good because I sort of get up, have my coffee and stuff, and sort of jump on and just try and work your way through. You know what I mean? So it's actually quite good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I can't imagine going to work after I've been taken out in a race or something. No, I'd be a terrible employee that day.
No, it's just a good league. You know what I mean? That's the good thing about it. You know what I mean? Everyone's there to have fun, and all the guys here are great. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it. Even if I can only do a couple of races at the moment, but it's well worth. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. Well, we miss you. You were saying you had a back injury and COVID, and you were so sorry. iRacing was the solution for everything, and
because we're in ISO, because the state of Victoria, I think, we're the record for the longest lockdown state in the world type of thing. wasn't much to do, you know what I mean? So the homeschooling with the kids, and yeah, I just sort of started off with a controller on iRacing, and then just worked my way up as you do. So yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
Well, so that leads to the question: so how long have you been in iRacing?
I reckon just over 12 months, I think. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just over 12 months. Yeah. I think. I'm pretty sure.
I would have guessed you'd been in our league longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. It could be. Yeah, I don't know, because time flies type of thing. But it could be nearly 2 years. I'm not sure. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of seriously got into it probably like after I got rid of the PlayStation 4 controller. I sort of tossed that, and yeah, you know what I mean. It's been fun.
So what kind of gear are you using now?
Excuse me. I've got I have got VR, but I tried it, and I've got to learn to close your eyes when you roll, because otherwise you get a bit of motion sickness.
Yeah.
But I've just got triple screens, just 2.7s, a TSXW Thrustmaster wheel, and the LCM pedals with just the upgraded, the brake thing, whatever they are, type of thing. So they do good. Yeah, they're really, for the price, it's really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're going back. You won. We're talking Raiders Division Championship, I think 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And I got to think you've been racing for 2 years. I don't want to think you've only been racing a year, man. That's just not right.
Yeah, no, it must be. It must be coming up to because of COVID. I think, you know what I mean. You sort of COVID just all time stops. You know what I mean?
It's a time warp. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Especially for us over here. I mean, each state was different. You know what I mean? We weren't allowed to drive into another state, even though the state's 2 minutes away. You know what I mean? Weren't allowed to go over there. Sort of made it hard, like to see, family and friends type of stuff. But it's just sort of dealt with it, and we're out of it now. So there's a lot of up here where I'm from. This weekend we've got the sprint cars. It's Friday night. It's Thursday here at the moment. So we've got sprint cars Friday night and Sunday night at the local track. We've got the Mildura 100 ski race, which is they do about 120 mile an hour on the water with 2 skis behind, which is I can only tell you in Ks. They do 50 Ks up and they do 50 Ks back, and it only takes them about 12 and a half minutes each way. So they're scooting along.
Yeah.
And then we've got motorbikes as well. We've got solo motorbikes, drag racing, motocross. Yeah, it really happens in my hometown this weekend. So it's, if you're 2 wheels, 4 wheels, it doesn't matter. So
now the sprint cars, it's just 360s. What do they run in your area?
They do 410s. At the moment, we've got 360s tomorrow night and Sunday night. I think there's a 30 car count that's coming. So Braden Finzel, I'm really good friends with Braden. He designed a real life car that's racing here. He designed a car for Abbott Motorsport, like here in Australia, and he's running the B-Fins logo on it. So yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get a picture of that.
Yeah,
and put it up on the lounge.
Up with the drive, hopefully catch up with the boys in the pits. You know what I mean? So, and try and get a photo with pointing to Braden's logo. So see what happens.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That'd be very cool, man. So I think you win the award for the most expensive shipping for a trophy.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, I feel so bad. You know what I mean? Because I'm so far. So I remember I sent Braden some Vegemite and some of our sweets that we've got that you don't get over there. I think it cost me about $75 to send it over. You know what I mean? It does. Yeah, it's a bit expensive. Yeah. So
we should have just given you a bunch.
What you should do, leave it to the end of the year, and if I do get anything, then whatever. So
we should have just given you a bunch of.
I've got the stickers proudly on the computer, so no, it's much appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we should have given you a bunch of feature EOLs that season, just to say.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I've had a couple of those. So.
I think you're in good company here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you run anywhere else other than our league? Is there some Australian leagues you run and stuff?
I was doing a few Aussie leagues, but just the last couple of months, I sort of stepped up my rehab, to go back to work type of thing, and it's sort of been a bit hard. So I've sort of cut down on leagues type of thing, and just wanted to run the coast to coast. I get more enjoyment out of that. You know what I mean? So it can be get too serious. You know what I mean? In other leagues, you know what I mean? So it's I'm just enjoying what I'm doing with you guys at the moment, and whatever comes up, I sort of do. Jump in a couple of hosted races, and always jump in the official races, and your I rating just plummets. So I just try and stay out of those as it does.
Yeah. Preston, you got any other questions?
Yeah. Well, have you been involved in like racing there at all, or is it just you're just a big fan?
No, I raced. My brother had a 360 sprint car. This is a long time ago. I'm 50-year-old, so my brother's 58. Yeah.
I thought you were 50. Like mid-30s, buddy.
There's a shot.
No, I'm getting up there. Yeah. I've got a few greys here, but yeah.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, my brother got into the 360 side of the sprint cars, and then the leader sprint cars are linked 1200cc, like motorbike motors and stuff like that. And then I sort of got into go-kart racing on bitumen. I won probably 3 or 4 club championships here, and raced away type of thing. So yeah, that got expensive running away, but it was great fun. You know what I mean? So,
you know, Preston's entered the world of kart racing.
Yeah, I see. I have seen some posts there of your kart there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you were probably doing asphalt, like road stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, asphalt. Yeah, yeah. You don't get as dirty, which is good.
Yeah, that I could imagine.
Yeah.
So, any chance you made it to the Australian Grand Prix this past weekend?
No, unfortunately, it was virtually sold out. I think they had about 420,000 people over, I think, the 3 or 4 days. So most days were sold out. My brother does live in Melbourne type of thing, and hopefully next year sort of get down there. And, it's just, I have been to a Grand Prix before. It's just unbelievable experience. So
yeah.
I think they're hosting one in Las Vegas in a couple of years' time. So you have 2 Grand Prix in America. So
we'll actually have 3 then, because they have the first Miami Grand Prix here this year, and then next year they're out on Las Vegas. So we'll have 3. Some people aren't real happy about that.
Oh,
but
that'd be awesome. Yeah, if you get a chance, definitely go.
I've been to the one in Texas twice, and it's different than any other form of racing. The atmosphere and everything. It's really, I mean, it's kind of glitzy, but it's a lot of fun. But I did see that I think the number you just gave was spot on, but it was like the largest like weekend sporting event in Australian history ever.
Yeah, that's about right. So we go, we play like AFL football over here. It's probably like NFL over there, but different type of thing. And usually, grand final day, you get about 100,000 people in one stadium. And the atmosphere is unbelievable. Probably the same as you guys.
Is that the Australian rules football?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's wicked, man.
They bred them tough, yeah.
It's really it's rugby, isn't it, really? Is it?
No, it's different to rugby. You're allowed to run with the ball, hand pass it and kick it, and mark it type of thing. It's I think some of the athletes or some of the AFL play, because they're paid, it's full-time athletes, they run 12 miles to 10 miles in a game, you know what I mean? So, and you don't swap, you know what I mean? It's not stop and start. It's just,
I've watched it. That's awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, they're crazy. Some of the,
So, one thing I always ask, greatest memory, your greatest iRacing memory?
Oh, I reckon probably my championship with you guys, I think. You do race in some leagues, and the stuff that you guys do, like the trophies are unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, it's appreciated. You know what I mean? That you sent something. You know what I mean? That means a lot. You know what I mean? For you guys to send something over here, and probably my first win in official races with a controller, I suppose. That was all right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've been trying to get in when I think Brady was in your league at that stage, and I had to go through the qualifiers to sort of go in, and always really wanted to join the league because Braden enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So I used to spot for Braden. I think when he won a championship, I was spotting for him, and what he could do was unbelievable.
He was a dominator. For sure, man.
Oh yeah, he's not bad.
So are you guys on the same team? Are you
on? In a way, we get on together and we get on Discord and have a chat, and we've become really good friends. You know what I mean? So we sort of try and get on with some other guys and just do some hosted races and just have some fun. You know what I mean? Just enjoy it. You know what I mean? So not be so serious, and it's good fun. And we're sort of, the wife and I are hopefully going to try and go over there next year for your summer. Probably land in Dallas somewhere and hire a car and then just drive around for a month and catch up with everybody if we could. You know what I mean? So
that'd be awesome.
And go to some races. It'll be good fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I was getting to my question too, and I know it may be a little harder to answer because you haven't been racing quite as much lately, but who would you say is your biggest rival in our league? And I always preface this by saying it doesn't mean necessarily somebody you don't get along with. Could be somebody you find yourself on the track with. Or
Nicholas Vickery's always hard. Like he races hard but clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most drivers. Donovan Ross is another one. Like use two guys. I mean, it's sort of there's probably 10 guys that in there because you look at the your times and stuff like that in qualifying and you try and beat them. And Kev Fry's another one. You always try and beat the other drivers, but we always race clean and fair. You know what I mean? It's if something happens, it's probably my side. It's net code type of thing. You know what I mean? Which is the distance. But they're probably the top ones. Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome, man. So we've got to get you on here again sometime, and then especially you can get back running regular. I mean, you are approaching retirement if you're 50. Holy smokes, I can't believe that, man. You're
I know.
You're almost eligible for the retreads.
I'm working for what's it? Yeah, I'm nearly at that age. Yeah.
Yeah, but we race at usually 2:30 in the afternoon, so that would be about 4 in the morning or something like that for you, I think. I don't think you get up for it.
Sometimes I'm up. If I've got to start early, I'm up. Sometimes I've got to start at 6 in the morning, so I get up a couple of hours before you know what I mean, got to go. But just quickly get on, have a shower, and off to work. But I'm sort of working at a hardware store. It's like a big chain at the moment. I think it's like your Home Depot over there. It's like it's a big chain. It's called Bunnings over here in Australia, and they get a lot of ex-tradies going there to help. You know what I mean? Like help people type of thing, and
that's
buy stuff and give them advice. So
Terry Landis does that. So you're in good company.
Yeah. At least I'm not lifting anything heavy anymore. You know what I mean? It's great. So
yeah. What did you do? You said it was construction or something, but
yeah, I was a plasterer by trade, like qualified plasterer. And then we do suspended ceilings. I've done floor and wall tiling, painting. Virtually because I'm nearly 30 years I was in the trade, so I've done it since I was 17. So since I left school,
you're definitely the guy then.
Sort of slowly up on you.
Yeah, no, for sure it does, and but you're definitely the kind of guy that you're always trying to find in a Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. So.
Yeah, I'm the one that usually runs and hides. No, it's good fun. I mean, the guys that work there, there's older guys and younger guys as well, and a lot of the older guys have been in the trade for a long time, like plumbers and builders and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people there as well. You know what I mean? So it's a local hardware store that everybody goes to, and it's a fairly big store, and yeah, it's good to catch up. And you can take your dogs in there as well, because I've got a Siberian Husky that a couple of times he's sort of been at my feet while I've been iRacing, and yeah, trying to kick him away with me right foot.
Yeah.
And I crashed.
Well,
yeah, I think I've seen you some photos of him there, Roger. So
yeah, I think I've seen pictures of him, but that's another. That's like net code. Like the dog was on my lap and moved the wheel or something.
Oh, I'm just trying to kick him away, and I'm trying to drive with my left foot, and but it's all good though. He's usually by my side or down at my pedals. So
that's cool, man. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on. I've been wanting to set this up for a long time and chat with you, and love to talk. Longer. We got another guest, and we got a bunch. Press and I tend to ramble too. So, but
no, that's fine. I'm glad to be on. So
yeah, and we'll have to get you back, and hope to see you more in the league. It was good to see you out there tonight, and it's we'll look for you at least on Wednesday nights, if not the other nights. But
no, that'd be great. I don't have to work till Easter Saturday, so I've got a couple of days off, and then I don't think I'm working on the Tuesday, so I'll be able to do the another race on the Tuesday, or your Monday night type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Day behind.
Everything's crazy.
Type of thing. So I'm trying to work it out, but hopefully get on a lot more. So.
Okay. That's great, man. And if you get to the States next year, let us know, and we'll try to set up a few meet and greets with you.
Yep, sure.
With the guys. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up as many as I can. No, that'd
absolutely,
be great.
Man.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay, buddy. And you have to come up to Canada and come up to Ashweekend Speedway. We'll take you to Niagara Falls and Toronto and all that sort of stuff. So,
that'd be awesome.
Open invite there, buddy.
Yep.
So, anyways.
Oh, no, thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, it's great talking to you, and hope to see you on the track again soon. And again, thanks for coming on. And I guess that's about it. We'll keep things going down under there, buddy. And
the toilet flushes the opposite way down here, so it's all good.
All right. Well, at the last second, he finally just settled a debate in our household, so I appreciate that. It was great having you on, Jamie.
Take it easy, Jamie.
Too easy, fellas. Thanks a lot.
Take care, man. And we're here with one of the young hot shoes. I can say that, can I?
You
Preston?
can say that.
Yeah. Okay. One of the hot young shoes in the league. How you doing, buddy? Jesse Atkinson.
I'm doing great. Been just racing.
Yeah.
Practicing a lot.
You've been kicking butt in that. We were just talking about this. You're only running the Rebels this season because you're working and a few other things, but leading the division. So pretty dominant there.
That's been really exciting so far. We've had to struggle for the past few weeks. I'm all by myself. I don't got a team. I got nothing. So I got to make everything myself, make all the decisions. So I've decided for the past, I think, ever since Eldora, I'm going to switch up my subs a little bit. And it's been just Eldora and Fairbury. It's just been, those two subs were horrible. We do fine in the heat. And then all of a sudden in the future, we just start falling all the way back.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and then Kokomo was just Kokomo. We had a really good set at Kokomo. We just couldn't take the speed anymore because we got all the wrecks.
Yeah, that could be Kokomo, that's for sure. But so you've do you have a couple of trophies? Do you not? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I have, I think, 2 feature winner stickers. One's on my PC, and I gave my other one to my dad. He put it on his trophy wall where he puts all his World of Outlaw stickers when we go.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. So, do you have a racing background?
I think I know my dad was talking about something about one of our cousins was racing. He used to race, I think a micro or something. He's down in Nevada. He's been racing micros. That's about the only racing background I have.
Okay, and where are you located?
We're just outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay, not too far from you then, Preston.
No, and he's probably even closer to Joe Canellis.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Because Joe's up that way. I think Joe's in Alexandria, so that's right there. So pretty cool. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew you were somewhere in the in that area, but I wasn't sure.
So there's now a more important question than anything. Are you a Caps fan?
No, I don't even watch hockey at all.
Oh, man. Well. All right. Well, it's good talking to you.
Yeah. Way to go. So, you've got another hobby that you do. Want to talk about a little bit? What's that?
It's flying. I'm working on getting my pilot's license. I've been doing it for like a good while now. I think. I mean, I've been working on my pilot's license for the past year, but I've been flying for like I think close to like 3 years at this point.
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's
been
so. How far away are you from getting your pilot's license?
quite a little bit far, but we'll get
yeah?
there eventually. Probably like 1 or 2 years, I'd imagine.
It's based on logging a certain number of hours, right?
Yeah, I think you have to get like 40 hours with an instructor and then 20 extra just by yourself flying. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the basics of it. It's obviously goes a lot more. There's a lot more into that, but that's the foundation.
For sure.
And the way I found out about that was we were hoping this season to have a coast to coast flight school and flight team or whatever, and we were going to fly from track to track, and I put a feeler out for anybody that was interested, and Jesse jumped on that, and I think he's an authority on Microsoft Flight Simulator too, so he's a great resource. The fact he's got actual hours in the air, and so it's hopefully we can get that going. I just it's something I want to do, but by the time season starts, it's about 5-6. It's about now before I get caught up, and then we get a charity event, and then I get a gap of 2 or 3 weeks, and that's kind of when I was trying to get that flight simulator stuff. But the goal is that a whole bunch of us fly from track to track, and probably a few people don't know this, but the season was set up kind of from track to track. It was based on where we were going to fly. So it's. But anyways, maybe next season.
So
yeah.
Do you have a pretty significant flight rig on top of your sim racing rig too?
No, not really. It's kind of so for my sim rig, or for flying at least, I'll just have a yoke that'll just sit on my desk and then throttle and I guess rudder pedals, and that's basically it. It's basically the same thing for my racing setup. I just have a G27, oldie but a goodie, does the job. I just place it on my desk, have the shifter, and then obviously the pedals.
What have you just got the G27 pedals?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, I have G27 wheel, like the entire set.
Yeah. But wow, that's impressive.
You running single monitor VR?
I used to, I think part of last season, the season before that, I used to run VR, and then I just stopped because it was kind of a hassle to do. But I run on a, I think 32-inch single monitor now. Then I have another monitor off to the side for monitoring details.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you leave VR?
It's just I don't even know why I just stopped. I think it's just, my room, it reaches 80 degrees when I race, so that's one of the factors. It's all the sweat run down my face and everything. It's just really uncomfortable. But I mean, I just haven't. I mean, I've definitely felt a lot more consistent, a lot better in VR, but I was just I don't know.
No, well, I'm with you. I gave up VR, but I went to triples. But yeah, and it's not that I didn't like VR. It was just, I guess, for me, more doing admin stuff. You don't have access to all the other metrics and stuff like that with the racing, and that was the drawback for me. But you've been killing it on that single monitor, man, because you've been running super clean and always at the front, and it's interesting. You're one of Marty's favorites with the Zoom thing. So so that's kind of cool. So how long you been iRacing?
I think I've been 4 years at this point. Yeah, about 4 years. Been, I think, since January 31st of 2018. I've been racing. I stopped for I think a year, and then 2020 I started getting back on it because of quarantine. I had nothing else to do, and I also got a better computer. I used to run on a Toshiba laptop somehow, but but got a better computer, started racing again, and then eventually found my way to some more leagues, and that just kind of picked up my momentum for racing, and here I am.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to stay in it when you pick up the leagues. That was always my thing. I think my 11-year like iRacing anniversary is actually might have been yesterday. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But
Happy
but
birthday.
yeah, but I used to do the same thing. It was asphalt then, which at the time that was kind of what I was chasing anyway. But it was real easy when you're running officials. Like you just kind of drop it. Like you got something else going on one week or whatever, and you miss it, and then it's easy to just let it go. But once you get the league stuff going, and you got guys and there's a points battle that you care about, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and
it's
you're in the lead of the points.
well,
battle.
yeah, that helps. That definitely helps. But even still, like the league kind of has that drawback, and it's a lot easier to stay going. I think this really, since I joined Coast to Coast, I haven't really missed, other than like being gone for work. I haven't missed anything, and I think that's the only time that's ever happened for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about the same way. I joined Coast to Coast, and I've just been like, I don't even know if I've missed any weeks of Monday Night Madness. I've just been on it every single week because I just enjoy racing Monday Night Madness. It's a lot of fun.
Now, do you think, I know we were talking before we came on the air that you used to run some of the Thursday stuff and the Wednesdays, which Wednesdays obviously is, there's some sprint cars involved, or there was last year, or last season, I should say. Do you think now that you've kind of let some of that those other cars go, that it's caused you to improve in sprint cars because you're just focused on those?
Yeah, I think the main reason why I moved away is because I'm trying to go for pro. I wanted to get in the pro series, so I've been working for a while now. I know I tried qualifying about a year ago, but then that's when I wasn't I didn't know a lot about the setup, so it's just kind of a little bit of a bust. But we're getting better. I've learned more about setups the more I tinker with them, so we'll make it one day. I don't know. That'll be a pretty good thing if I made that.
So here's an interesting question then. At the midpoint of the season, we usually try to balance the league out a bit more, and this year, anybody watching needs to be aware. If you're more than 50 points over the max of your division, you could be demoted. So there's a few guys. I meant to do a post on that or something because there's some surprising guys that are on that bubble. But anyways, the other side of that is guys get to move up. So if you may have to make a decision in the next week or two about whether you want to run for that championship or you want to get up and run with the Renegades on a regular basis and improve your skill level. You're gonna have to make a decision on what's important, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the things I saw. It was once I saw one of the rules, once you go for pro, you can't really race in coast to coast anymore. It's man, I'm in a predicament here.
No, you can run pro because you're grandfathered in. You're good.
Oh.
Just don't ever leave the league because you won't get back in after you go over.
Right.
But what's your I rating right now?
Currently at a 3.2K.
Okay, so yeah, so you're still good though. You're grandfathered in. You could be running. Kyle Moonen almost made it last season, right? They thought he was in, and then I think there was some drop weeks that screwed him or something. But no, go for it. Go for all that, man. You're not going to lose that. But you may have to make a decision here in a week or two if you want to stay down and run for that championship trophy or you want to move up. So it's you've raced with those guys a few times. So how do you find that running with the Renegades?
I haven't ran the Renegades this season.
You haven't transferred up?
No, I just haven't had the time to this season at least.
Yeah. Well, that's where you should be to get those skills home, man, because that's a whole other world up there. So it's pretty cool. So you just racing Monday nights. You said you're working and stuff. You don't race anything else at all? You don't run any asphalt or anything?
I do, because basically my team, Major Esports, I'm the only guy that runs dirt on it, and our entire team is basically based around endurance racing and oval racing. So everybody on there is basically really good at oval stuff, and I'm just tiers. But I'll tag along with them sometimes, some oval leagues, but I don't race very often.
So how about Sunday nights with our GT3 series? You need to get out there.
Yeah, I think I raced it. I raced the season opener. I ended something funny happened. I think I qualified third, and then we gridded. I went to go chain something, And then the race started, so I had to start from last. That was pretty funny. I don't even know what I got. I think like third, I want to say by the end of it. But yeah, I raced that. But then I don't have many road tracks, but I think I have like half the schedule for Sunday. I have half the tracks for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I've been
'cause
trying to race those. So
Yeah, we were trying to. What we were doing there was adding one track a season, so there wasn't a big bang. Somebody coming in now, Greenwood, yeah, there'd be a number of tracks to buy, but it's yeah, it's a great. The GT3s have been great. So, when's your next flying lesson?
next flying lesson?
Yeah,
Uh,
you got something
I
scheduled?
think I think this Saturday actually.
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
sure though. But yeah, I think this Saturday, and if not, it'll probably be in a couple more weeks.
Oh, so I had a question for you. So you said you do have pedals for flight sim. So what do you do with your pedals and those pedals, and like how do you
Okay.
work that?
I have a very unorganized way of doing this. So basically, for my steering wheel, whenever I'm finished with it, I'll just take it off my desk, like everything. So the pedals on the floor, my wheel, my shifter, and there's a little side, or I have a little like opening off to the side of my desk. I'll just put it on the floor there, and then all my flight stuff is in this little cubby here, right behind my sticker, and then some more flight stuff in a little cubby over here. And that's where I put my flight stuff when I'm not using it.
So you just got to physically swap everything out.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't sound like fun.
No.
Yeah, I'm still looking for some sort of magic solution for that.
So here's what I'm gonna propose. I think we need to hook Jesse up with Rob from Icon, and have them design a flight sim chassis to add to his catalog.
Well, or like a combination where you could just have have doors open and stuff. Maybe you just swing out the wheel and you swing in the yoke.
Yeah,
Same with the pedals. Yeah,
that's a thought too. That's a
Yeah,
thought too.
I have been thinking about them. I don't really have much. This is my This is my everything room for like racing, flying, all that, and there's not much space to put a little rig in here. But I've been looking at a few.
Is it your bedroom too, or is it?
Yeah, even got my crew chief sleeping up there behind me.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah.
She gives me the calls during the race. So anytime I junk it, it's her.
Yeah, that's we just had that discussion with somebody else. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, buddy. So I got to ask you the question I always ask it. You watch, you know what it is. Your greatest iRacing memory.
So literally, so when we first made Ager Esports, as I said, that's our endurance team. First race we ever did, brand new to endurance racing. All of us just got together. We're like, you know what? We're gonna do the Daytona 24-hour in GTE class last year. What ended up happening is I think we qualified so we had an all GTE split, so it was just 50 GTEs. So, and what ended up happening is our first driver, he's having internet issues, so we put him in the car. First lap blinks out. So we had to start, I think, like about 2 laps down, and we started 50th. And over the course of that 24 hours, we made it up to 4th, and it was obviously that's not just me doing that. That's our entire team. That's everybody on that team just thinks back to them, and we're like, man, that was such a great achievement to do, and to avoid all the chaos that happens in a 24-hour race. And I don't know if you guys with Coast to Coast, I know you guys have an endurance team, so I don't know if you've done it yet, but if you've done an endurance race or two, just all the chaos that happens. And as a part of my team, since nobody wants to take the night shifts, I'm typically the one who steps up and takes it. We call me the graveyard driver. So
How many guys are on that team to go 24 hours?
we have about 16 guys on the team. And I know a few of them have raced in Coast to Coast before, I think 3 seasons ago. I know Brady Floyd, he was one of them. Bryn George, I know he raced I think a couple of races in Hometown Heroes.
He raced just the NASCAR stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think Zachary Thornton, you may have seen him once or twice. And yeah, those are some of the guys who race on that team.
Well,
So how many do you put on? I'm assuming you guys probably form multiple teams when you go in. How many drivers would you typically use for one car for a 24-hour race?
Yeah, so for 24-hour races, we'll typically have between 4 and 6 drivers. I know we were very disorganized for the first Daytona 24-hour we did because we kind of just thought of it and we're like, let's just go for it. So I think we had like 7 drivers on that team. But since then, we've been like, let's tone it down a little bit. So we've had, typically we do 4 to 6 drivers for like 24-hour races, and for like 10 to 12 hours, we'll have like 4 or 3 drivers. And then for anything below that, we'll have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I know once for Sebring 12-hour, it was just a duo, me and somebody else, but we ended up wrecking out, which was sad, but we didn't do about it.
Well, and that's what makes endurance racing that rewarding. It's what you're talking about is, it's one thing to race a 30 lap, dirt race, and that's tough in its own right, but going 24 hours and then splitting that time with other drivers and coordinating it all, and there's a lot of planning that goes in, and then it's grueling. I mean, it really is, and it's very rewarding when you get to the finish line.
Yeah, and the nice part about our team is like we're very diverse. Obviously, like I'm a dirt oval racer. I don't really race asphalt all that much, so there's that going. Then we have obviously we have NASCAR. Well, yeah, NASCAR oval drivers. We have people who race road in real life. And then we also have we have a broadcaster that races for us. We have people who make setups who also race, and it's just like we're pretty diverse in our team. I mean, we may not be the fastest on the field, but we're consistent. We have that going for us.
Well, and it's again the key to endurance racing is consistency. So.
Oh,
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's that was I did the Sebring one with Preston and Shorty, and I forget who
Terry.
I guess it was Terry Landis. And it was just don't screw up. Don't screw. A lot of pressure that you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did okay, right? We did.
I think we finished 4th or 5th or something like that.
Yeah, like it was. It's a great feeling at the end just to complete it and know you did it. So it's cool.
All right. So my question: who is your biggest rival in the Coast to Coast Racing League?
Oh boy, I remember. Well, I guess we'll start with the first team that I joined. I know it was Jeff Laro, because I know he was always just one step ahead of me in every single race. And then last season, same thing. I think I've always seen him just one place in front of me. So let's see. I think I had 2 wins last season, and then maybe 4 or 5 second places, and those second places have been to Jeff Laro, and it's just I've always just seen him right in front of me. I'm like, man, yeah, I enjoy racing with him a lot, but after a while,
yeah,
but you'd rather him be behind you than in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really stepped it up lately. I know he mentioned in an interview a couple of weeks ago that his son's been helping him with some setups and stuff. I think Andy Patton was telling me that I didn't know of his son, but that his son's really good. And Jeff's gotten real fast lately, and he's a force to be reckoned with. So that's a good company to be in.
Yeah.
Sure. I always make it my goal to just be, I either want to be right behind him or in front of him. That's my goal. Just maybe a few milliseconds behind him. But I want to get to a point where I'm getting in front of him, and I've been just trying to tinker with my setups, even to find just the slightest bit of speed out of it. But yeah.
Roger, he mentioned not being on a team, and I know we don't have the data off the top of our heads, but it makes me wonder on Monday nights, at least Rebels, Renegades, because Raiders is, that's newer guys coming in. I wonder how many champions we've had that have not been on a team.
I don't know if there's ever been.
I know, and that's what I
was
thinking.
Flaro.
Has he? Did he win?
He's not he won Raiders last season.
Right, and so not to discount Raiders for anybody in that division, but that one's going to be one. Now Flair's been in our league for a long time, so that would obviously count. But it's you get guys in there who haven't had time to find a team too. But that's pretty interesting. You might be pushing on to a record there.
Yeah,
I came second place to them in the Raiders last year for the championship. I was just like, here you go again. There's another second place right behind them.
Yeah, well, so that's a cool battle to be shaping up, because Jeff's in Rebels this season, right? Because he moved up too.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's behind you. I've got that actually right here.
So that really is a pretty heated rivalry when you think about it, considering y'all ran for the championship last year and it's shaping up again this season.
They both made every race, and Jesse's got 283. Donovan Ross 282.
It's
Jeff Flero 271, and then Brendan Lacey 269, and Bob Emerson 264. Like it's just it's tight. It's
right
gonna be
before
that's gonna be a
Kokomo.
tight run.
Yeah, right before Kokomo, I had a 50-point gap, and then Kokomo just down to a single point there. It's getting.
Well, I know another guy in Rebels last season that was watching those points and from week to week pretty close.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I started leading the points the fourth week of the season and was surprised when that happened. And then every week I'd go to look at it thinking, oh, this is a week, I'm going to fall down a notch. And it just never happened. Like, and then the drop weeks came and I'm like, oh, And then so it came to last week and I'm doing the math and I was so bad at it throughout the season, I didn't even trust myself. I had to wait for it to go through. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's a fun spot to be in. It's better than being, in 15th or something. So
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
Yeah, no offense, Roger. No,
I'm in 16th.
Oh, there you go. No.
Yeah. Anyways, buddy, it's great having you on, and I want to thank you for coming out and your credit to the league, and just hope to see you out there in more races. You said in the summer you may have some more time on your hands, so might see you out a little bit more. It's always good to see you out. You're always running clean.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll see you on the
track.
track.
Yeah,
and we'll get that flight simulator thing going, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe one day, in a few years' time, you can fly up to Ashweekend and catch the races up here.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, buddy.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was fun catching up with those guys. We were actually just talking to Jesse about some of this, and it's going to lead pretty naturally into our podium picks. But before we get to that segment, we're going to reverse the order on you guys this week. We're going to start with the top of the podium, and we're going to work our way down from now on. Just that way, you guys get the meat of the information first.
Yeah.
So what do we have on the top step of the podium this week?
The top one, I mean, it's Sunday. When people are seeing this, the deadline is midnight tonight for the early bird for our Super Dirt Week. Can't wait for this event. It's we've had this is Wednesday when we're doing this, and we've already got lots of guys signed up. So if you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up, especially today. But it's not too late. I mean, you can sign up right up till the last night, but we really don't want to do that because there's it really makes it tough on the organization side. But there's some good numbers here, and 30 cars will make each of those features, and they're filled, so it's going to be a good turnout. Can't wait. And great format.
Just to ask a clarifying question, and I might be wrong about this. I know in the past, because we usually do our LCQ the same night as the feature, you could sign up until the day of the championship. This particular event, because the LCQ is the night prior, because we have the two main events on the last night. And stop me if I'm wrong, but for this particular event, you can't wait until championship day to sign up. You'd need to sign up the day prior, which is Wednesday of next week.
Well, let's not wait that long. Let's get in there,
Yes,
now. Importantly, too, if you're watching this, the notes sent out by now, but there will be 2 drivers' meetings. We would like it to make it so that you could attend one or the other. They'll both be 7 o'clock on Sunday. It'll be in our Discord, just in the pits, and then on Monday at 7. So if you can't make one, make the other. It's a fairly complicated. We keep challenging ourselves. Knoxville is really difficult, and this one here is Monday night has or Tuesday night. Sorry, the first night has 9 separate sessions. So what we don't need is people saying, "Well, where do I race? Where do I race?" Well, we'll lay all that out in the drivers' meetings. But suffice to say, it was what I was really trying to do is I really wanted to have individual qualifying. We would call each car out one at a time. Broadcasters could talk with their sponsors and stuff. But then I started looking at it. It's going to be 3 laps because we're following the Super Dirt format. It's 3 laps. and it would have taken an hour for each division just to do the qualifying. So then I thought about shifting the schedule around. I thought, no, it would just. And in fact, it was Dean Reynolds said, don't overcomplicate it for yourself. It's already complicated enough. So I took Dean's advice, and we'll just have regular qualifying. But those are separate sessions. We'll follow that up with the vets race, because that gives me time to pre-grid those 3 heat races, and we call them heat races, or Dean calls them heat races, but they're actually mini features. They're all 20-lap features.
Yeah.
And there'll be six guys qualify. They go straight to the final. So qualifying is really, really important. That's why we wanted to dramatize it, but that's not going to happen. But then I've got to pre-grid all these heats. So there'll be 20-lap heats. They're all separate sessions. There will be cautions. I mean, it's just like running like a feature. So anyways, it's going to be great. And then that'll get you 24 cars that'll be starting after that night. And then we'll have the LCQs to pick another 6. There'll be 2 B mains for each division. So there'll be 3 coming out of each of those B mains, and they won't be stacked. They'll be just like a 2 B mains. You're in one or the other, and that's your last chance. And we will have an auction too. We'll have an auction for a seat, and there's a provisional for the veterans.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to rewind a little bit and reiterate what you said, that it is going to be very complex, particularly no more for anybody than Roger and having the session set up. But it is very important that you do attend one of those drivers' meetings and know what's going on, because there's so many sessions, and they are shorter than our standard sessions. If you don't know where you're supposed to be, it'd be very easy to miss something that you're supposed to be in. So you definitely want to know where you're supposed to be and when, and being able to follow the order of the events for the night, because one leads right into the next. We're going to start at 7 on Monday, and then after that, once the first session wraps up, the next one starts. There's no, it's not 7:30 or anything like that. So it's just very important. We're going to help you guys out as much as we can. We'll answer questions, but Monday night during the event, when everything's chaotic, is not the time to be asking those. So. If you feel like you're going to have questions, you can't ask really too many questions right now. So get those out of the way, and definitely attend one of those drivers' meetings.
Yeah. So what I will try to, as quickly as possible, put out a sheet, so probably in pit notes, of here's the who's in each heat. You can pretty much figure it out. The top 6 are going to go, and then you just go down. If you finish 7th, you'll be starting in the first race.
Right.
You'll finish 8th, you'll be in the second race. So you can figure out pretty much, but we'll put a list up, and then I'll get that populated. Right now, if you looked at the sessions, you'll see them all at 11 o'clock, because I don't want nobody can get in that session until I've got it all gridded, or that session can't go until I've got it done. So they're just placeholders right now. So, but it's really good. We've had lots of sponsorship, lots of great sponsors. I should mention them now, but if you saw the poster, maybe if you could, Preston, maybe we could pop the poster up here just for a minute or something. But you'll see there's a ton of sponsors. Everybody's just stepped up. Flatline Bodies, got to say, Dan Chapman, Maurer Farm Equipment, Clarence, Iowa is well represented in the charity side. Of course, Super Dirt Car Series. It's the name of the event, and they've been generous. And also Land of Legends TV, they have stepped up. They'll be the title sponsor for the final night. And our Schweeken Speedway stepped up, and here I go, I'm mentioning some and not mentioning others, but a majority of the racing teams in our league have stepped up to sponsor it, and it's going to be a great event, and we got lots of door prizes too. So each final will pay 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 for the top 5, plus a trophy for the winner, which is, some people might not think that's a big deal, but that's pretty generous when you're really doing this for charity. So, that's covered by sponsorship, and then we'll have excess that will go directly to Mission 22. And we guarantee, like, all of whatever you're registering and paying, and you can donate more than the minimum, all of that goes directly to Mission 22. So none of that is used for any of the prizes and stuff. So not just it's going to be another great event. I can't wait.
Yeah, and these to me at this point especially just keep building on each other. I mean, you look at, I made the poster for this particular event, and that we had to clear more space to make room for all the sponsors, and that's awesome. I mean, it's great to see all the drivers out, and I don't want to make light of that at all, but
Yep.
we have companies and people that want to participate. It's almost like it's not like figuring stuff out for a season or anything like that. You just bring it to these guys and say, hey, we're raising money for this group. Do you want to be part of it? And I can't think of a time when anybody said, nah, not this time.
No,
Everybody's
no.
excited to do it every time, and I think it's a testament to what we're doing. And so it's
Yeah.
just exciting to see these things keep growing and coming up with new formats, and it's lots of fun.
It's yeah, and of course this one's special, especially for you and Chris's family. But it brings it home, the importance of this, the Mission 22, the work they do, and just can't say enough about that. So I think we found another great charity to support, and looking forward to working with them going forward for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's going to be a natural partnership over time as we keep doing stuff. It'll turn into something even bigger. So I'm very encouraged and excited about that.
So I guess moving on to the second thing on the podium was just the league's stuff. The main title for this, I was just going to talk about the standings, because the standings, that there's we're into week 5, and there's some tight races, like the Rebels division.
We talked about that one with Jesse.
Yeah, we talked about that, and Jesse's leading it. But boy, there's about 8 guys, and the Renegades too. There's a bit of a gap there, but like one race can make a difference, and you start figuring out drops. I know the Raiders division too. There's 3 guys, Bruce Hilton. Bruce Hilton is up there at 327, but at 325 is Bryce Eichmeyer, new guy, and Brian Moore Sr. So and then it goes down from there, but it's tight, and there's so many divisions. So some great racing this year, really good balance. The other change we want to talk about, one change that we made was, and it seems to be working great, is Hometown Heroes. I-55 was super slick. I think they made a change. I think John Hine was saying sometimes they don't always put out in their notes everything they change, because that track's not wearing as fast as it wore. But we've got this other change we brought on now, where just before warm-ups during the B main, the admins reset the track between, it's their choice, from 0 to 15. So it's just again, we're just trying to simulate that Hometown Heroes feel. You go to your local dirt track, they always treat the track a bit, depending on its condition, how much they do before the features. And so we're kind of doing the same thing, but we do it before the warm-up. So if we set it at, say, 15%, even though that's not a normal wear, by the time you've done their 3-minute warm-up, it's looking pretty, and everybody's got to adjust to it. And it's been some great racing last week. So we're thinking of trying that again with Thursday night. We're going to maybe trial it there too, just to see how it works. So it seems to be pretty popular with most of the guys.
Yeah, and I think maybe it was last week that I was able to run one of those races where it got reset. I assume that was on Tuesday, but nonetheless, it did seem to make a big difference. And I think the admins are all knowledgeable and do a good job of making a decision based on what they've seen the track do so far. For me, and I've noticed that change too. I'm not sure that whatever's changed within iRacing isn't related to the weather, because I've been seeing, I'm going to call it wild weather. Obviously, we're not seeing rain yet. This could be a preparation for that. But for example, I think it was would have been Tuesday this last week. It was hazy, like I've never seen it before.
The 305s.
Yeah,
I think one of the Knoxville races was like that, where it was just randomly came out as super humid. But yeah, it was almost foggy. It was almost boggy.
Yeah, and I think maybe that they're allowing the weather to play a bigger factor in the track, which is interesting because it nerfs your setups a little bit more. Like you have to throw bigger changes at it to adjust to the weather.
Yeah.
So that's cool in that sense. So that may be it, but yeah, this does seem to make a big difference as far as keeping the track drivable throughout the entire feature.
Yeah, and it's still like pretty slicked off at the end, but
Yeah.
it does at least reset it, and it progresses well. Gives multiple lanes of racing, and it seems to be working great. So yeah, it seems to be something we've tripped on. I think that's working. Um, Another note too, just to jump back to the charity event, was I just found out tonight from Jeff Barker that they issued new setups for the dirt mods, but they're not in the set. They're on the web. You have to download them. So he's getting them for me. But so there's new setups. They're not even in the setting up the races. So it's good that he brought that to my attention.
Yeah, they do some strange things over there sometimes.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's getting frustrating with some of that stuff. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, lots of things happening there. Everything's going pretty smooth with the league. All divisions seem to be clicking. The UMPs have had some great racing. I was a pessimist on you. You know that very well. That I'm not a UMP fan, but their racing has been great. The car counts are great. Tonight in the 410s, we had somebody went home. So it's the car counts are great. It's working out really well for us.
Yeah, it seems like we've had a really solid season, especially considering the time of year when it's starting to get a little bit warmer and stuff. As far as car counts go, this has probably been one of our, we'll call it consistent, I guess, across divisions where we're seeing the car counts in just about every division, at least where we need it to be to keep running it, and that's been a good thing. I think it's showing some diversity within our league. Obviously, Monday night's still the big ladder night. At least a lot of guys are drawn to that, but everything seems to be flourishing at this point. So it's good.
Even a retreads race today, we had the Indy cars. I think at Daytona, we had 13 guys out. I mean, that's for a bunch of old guys in the afternoon. And then even our matinee races, we've been getting in the teens. So some good car counts all over. So yeah. Oh, we got it'll be over now, but we're going to the Burger Barn. We're gonna have a meet and greet at the Burger Barn. That was yesterday for anybody watching this, and as a result of that, because it's Saturday morning, we're gonna run the NASCAR race Saturday night. So. When you see this, you'll know how that's done. But that's something we wanted to try for a while, just to see, how will the car counts go on a Saturday night. So
is it going to be? And we're talking about this after the fact, but oh well. So is it a night race? Like, is it going to be under the lights?
I wanted to make it a night race. I still could, I guess, at this point, but it's Atlanta, and Atlanta doesn't support lights. It doesn't have lighting.
Really?
So
I had no idea.
No, it doesn't. But the next week, Richmond does. So I was thinking about throwing Richmond up. So you'll know what I've done by the time you see this. But that's because I thought the same thing, Preston. It would be cool that if you're going to run it at night, you should run it under the lights.
So you're talking about, again, we need to drop it, but I can't help myself.
I know.
So you're talking about switching Richmond and Atlanta on the schedule?
Yeah, but what we've typically done is we use the same track on Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the Indy cars, the pickups. And so I might just, and that's tomorrow. I don't want to switch them all. So, but I might switch to Saturday night just to run the night race at Richmond.
Oh, if you do, I'm in there because that's my home track, I guess you'd call it. And then a night race will be a lot of fun. So
I was trying to get Marty to broadcast it, but he's out of town. Or, that would have been another nice wrinkle to throw in there too.
Yeah, well, you know what? We should give him a shout out too. I understand he just got kind of a new gig traveling around with the Rush late model series, I think it is.
Yeah.
So he's doing some stuff for them now. He's become kind of a hot commodity up in that area.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how much longer we can hold on to him.
Yeah, I know that was my first thought too, but I don't want to say it.
but no, it's just. But you know what? We wish him all the best, and if we lose him, we're losing him for a good reason.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but right now he's still solid on Mondays. I think Thursdays might be a little challenging at some point, but our broadcasters all cover each other off anyway.
Right.
So it's been working out really, really well. So yeah, so that was so that's the league stuff. I guess so. The third thing on the podium is Cranmer Motorsports got out on the track for real. How did it go, buddy?
Yeah, and before we get into that, I'm just going to tell everybody now, I promise not to take up a podium pick every single week, but I kind of asked Roger for this one because if you watched last week's episode, it was recorded before I went racing. You would have seen it afterwards, the day after, but it went as well as we could expect. So, we didn't have a lot of expectations coming in. That first week, we didn't get a lot of laps in. I was getting some laps, but they were off the pace. I didn't have power on the straightaways. So I didn't even have a baseline to start making adjustments or anything like that. And so we got out this week. It was a lot of hard work getting the cart ready. Penny Lee and our little guy went away for spring break. So that gave me a little bit of extra time to kind of stay out in the shed a little bit and work on the cart, and got everything done really, pretty much 12 hours before we had to leave for the track. So that was, it's not as much time as I would have liked, but it was done. The first week we were there, we pulled the cart off the trailer and we're still adjusting things. So it was an improvement even in that sense. So we got there, got unloaded, and it was kind of funny. Dad wasn't able to be there when we got unloaded everything. So it's just me and my buddy Jeremy, who's been helping me week to week. And so we were coming off the trailer and got it on the stand and test ran it, prepped the tires one last time, checked pressures, and there was still an hour and a half till open practice started, and we were kind of looking around like, well, what do we do with ourselves now? Because it wasn't the same experience as the race before. So we talked to some of the other drivers. There was a younger kid there that was new this time. It was his first week, and so they parked beside us, and he apparently had been there the first week kind of checking things out and seeing if they were going to get involved, and they put the cart together in 4 weeks, which kind of pissed me off because it took me all of 6 months. But they were a nice family. They had a little girl and played with Eli while we were there, and that was good, kept him occupied. But it was interesting because he was dealing with the exact same issues. Well, maybe not the exact same issues, but the end result was the same. He was having power problems on the straightaways and stuff, and it couldn't get the RPMs dialed in the right way and stuff. So it was fortunate because I had guys that helped me the first week and pushed me in the right direction. So we paid it forward and kind of tried to help him and kind of made an ally at the track out of that too. So we'll catch up with him next week. But we took open practice, and I was pulling out on the track because I hadn't had any actual load in the cart, right? So I hadn't taken it down the road or anything. And I was a little nervous getting out there, got on the throttle as soon as I hit the track, and it felt better. Went around the first corner, and she took off. So I was real happy with that. And we knew we were still going to be a little off the pace. I had ordered a new drive gear along with some new sprockets, trying to get the gearing right based on what I'd heard from other drivers. And so the sprockets came in. I got that switch, but my new drive gear didn't come in, and so I was we'll say a few teeth off from where I wanted to be. And so we didn't have any expectations. I think when my mom got there later on in the day, she told Jeremy when I was taking the track, I sure hope Preston wins. And he had to kind of navigate around that and tell her that's not going to happen today. We're not at that place yet. But it was a drastic improvement. We completed all the racing laps, sans being lapped during the feature at one point. I looped the cart a couple of times just because I'm pushing too hard. But that's I'm not gonna. I don't want to rest back either. And I really didn't make any changes while we were at the track. The focus was just kind of learning how the track changes, breaking in the cart, those kind of things. And it went really well. I think I went one lap down in a 20 lap feature, so really not too bad. Finished 7th out of 8, so it wasn't last. And the other kid that was there, he finished behind me, so we were joking about by the end of the season we'll be 1-2 and everybody will be following us. So it was just a all around success. The funniest thing that happened the whole time I was there is during the feature, it was cold. And I was so focused on getting the cart ready. I think I looked at what the high temperature for the day was going to be, and then that was it. So it was going to be 60 63, and I think it got to 63 like before noon and started getting colder after that. So by the time we got to feature time at 8:30 at night, it was close to, I think it was down in the 30s already. And so when I'm in the cart, it's not too bad because I'm getting heat off the motor. I've got a jacket on, helmet on. It's not too bad. But the problem is my helmet's fogging up terrible because I had an anti-fog that didn't have a problem with that the first week, and so I could barely see. And luckily, I was a little ways behind the guys that were, in front of me, but the leaders were coming up behind me, and I knew it, so I went to move up the track, but I couldn't see where the grip stopped, and it got slick. And so I just drove straight up into the slick, and I looped it around. Luckily, there's a big wide, turn 2 is really wide at the top. There's a lot of track that never gets used. And I spun it around. I did a perfect 360 straight down the track. The 3 lead cars that were going by me went past, and I just tucked right back down behind them and kept going. I don't even think the cart ever came to a complete stop. So it was really funny. We had a good time. It was just a relief to get out there and run well. So,
well, I saw the video, and I was impressed how fast they were. Like, for like an entry level, they move pretty good, man.
Yeah, they're going. I think the video might, just the perspective in the video may make them seem a little faster than they would if you were standing there. But it did. It surprised me too once I got up to speed, and I'm still not quite as fast as I'll be able to go once we get that nailed down. But and it really gets to rattling you around, especially as the track breaks in. You get going a lot faster. It's a little different than what we're doing in iRacing, in sprint cars, where the track breaks in, you get a good cushion, and then not long after that, it slicks off really bad. What we have is, the track just keeps taking rubber all night long. So that bottom lane, while there's still some slick areas, for the most part, it's just getting tackier and tackier, and really that tacky area is just getting larger. So it gets racier and racier as the night goes on, which is nice. But yeah, when you're on the bottom in the feature, especially towards the end of that race, it is. I mean, you carry a lot of speed through the corners. You're barely out of the throttle, and I guess you've seen like helmet cams before, and it just seems really shaky, and you're thinking, I see better than that when I'm in my car. It's probably not really like that. It's really like that. Like you're getting rattled around the whole time. So it was an interesting experience, but I did feel very comfortable. And I'm at the point now that I've had some laps under my belt where I don't think iRacing is going to make me better at kart racing, or kart racing is going to make me better at iRacing, but it did give me, I believe, a level of comfortability. I think I'm able to predict a little bit what the car is going to do. I understand what it feels like when it starts to break loose. So there are some things it helps you with too. So and I can kind of feel those comparisons when I'm in the car too, and that was kind of just a cool thing to start noticing while I'm racing and getting in the zone. You run a heat, you got 8 laps, you're focused on that, but 20 laps in the feature and you're really getting in a rhythm, and you start to notice little things that just seem, for whatever reason, they seem familiar to you, and that was pretty cool. So
were you nervous at all, like when you're lining up for your first heat or for the feature? No, and that's the thing, and I do think that it kind of comes back to the same thing. But I mean, even iRacing, sometimes I'll get a little butterflies. You're starting high up in the field, or you think you got a chance. Maybe that's what it was. I just knew I was going to be at the back, so there's no reason to be nervous. But no, I'm just, when I get in there, I do find a way to just kind of zone in. And you're just trying to get out to the track, and then after that it's instinct. Like you're just trying to hit the same lines over and over, and it's just a focus. So I really didn't find myself that nervous. I think maybe as the season goes on, and hopefully we start to find ourselves a little bit more competitive, at least with the middle of the pack. Maybe that changes. I don't know, but up until this point, maybe that first week, because I didn't know if the cart was going to run or not. So, but that's a different kind of nervousness, I think. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. So, I think you race the end of the month next time, right?
Yeah, next race is April 30th. That's a and if you haven't heard me explain this before, the way they run our Predator division is it alternates between points weeks and money races. So 1 week they'll pay out prizes, and the next week it's for a points championship that'll be awarded at the end of the season. So this last week was our first points race, and so the April 30th will be our next money race. Those money races we actually have individual car qualifying where they, you take time trials, and then our points races are heat races. So you get a lot of experience in different formats too, which is nice to be in a rookie class.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great, man.
Yeah.
So,
And I mentioned this last week that I'd have GoPro video. There was some dispute on where the camera's allowed to be mounted on the cart or if it's allowed to be mounted on your helmet. So we didn't want to risk anything this past week. So I'm hoping to get some clarification through their Facebook page before the next race, and we'll be able to do that. But we didn't want to risk getting DQ'd or anything for something silly like a camera coming off the cart.
Yeah.
So
yeah, could be expensive too. So
yeah.
Okay, man. So I guess that's it.
That's it. We
don't have anything else. And just when you've seen this, the next time we'll talk, we'll be talking about the results from Super Dirt Week. But again, just a reminder, make sure you get out there and sign up, because this is for a good. Even if you're not going to race, make a donation. Mission 22 does phenomenal work, and just if we can save one life, it's all worth it. So absolutely, yeah. And that, if you take anything away from this episode, that's it. Go get signed up for that event right now. It's going to be fun. If you ran our Knoxville event, our format was awesome, and I think this is going to be just as good, if not better. So make sure you're there, and like Roger said, if you want to make a donation, please feel free. All the details are on our website, c2crl.com. It'll pop up. If you've been to the site before and clicked off that pop-up and you don't see it, there's a link at the top of the page as well, so it should be easy to find. But if for some reason you can't, you can always hit us up on Facebook, and we'll give you a hand getting that done. We'll be back here for episode 72 next week of the Pitside podcast, and maybe we'll be interviewing your winners from our Super Dirt Week event. So we'll see you then, guys. Just one last thoughts and prayers with Bill Calder. He lost his sister earlier this week. And,
yes, thank you for reminding me.
Just thinking of Bill. So, anyways, we'll see everybody. See you on the track on Tuesday night. Yeah, I'll be going nuts then. So
yeah,
should be.
Yeah, don't ask Roger questions on Tuesday night. That is the biggest piece of advice I could give you.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys.
Take care.